What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Chuck Friends Play Sonic Adventure 2 Part 10. We are now going to go and rescue Tails and Amy from Robotnik in the research lab. Now there's 33 minutes till the countdown to the explosion of the Ark, or till the Ark's Eclipse cannon fires again. So time is of the essence, of course. Now, if you played the Dark Side story first, it would actually seem like Sonic would die because that cutscene wouldn't be there. But now you're left with a little bit of doubt. And as you can see, Robotnik seems to have something on the front of his egg walker. That is his armor that he finds. And it doesn't look like he has his upgraded Vulcan cannon or new homing missiles. Now that laser will actually pack a punch. If you do get hit by it, it will take out over 85% of your health in one hit. And if you get hit with that bomb, the same thing, you know, that capsule looking thing that acts as a bomb.
I feel some strange energy.
So it would seem as Sonic actually lives, and this is the final rush, the final stage in the hero side story and Sonic's final level. Again, not on a time limit, and this is the hardest level that Sonic has by far, and the one that takes the most precise controls, especially trying to land on a lot of these rails and trying to get some of the more trickier enemies and item boxes around above the rails. As you can see, there will be a lot of item boxes hanging around the rails outside the rails and everything, but I won't worry about any of them because they are all useless, especially if you're, because they are very easy to die by, and you don't want to, of course, die going after a useless thing like this. To cut out a lot of the rail grinding, I like to do this. It does take a lot of practice though to be able to land on it just right, and you never want to land on the right rail. I had forgotten that it cuts off at the end. But if you're racing the clock, trying to go after that challenge, that's a great way to cut off a good 25 to 30 seconds. And it isn't that dangerous, especially if as long as you take practice with it. You know, if you practice enough with it, you'll be able to get it on the first try, just like that, just like I did. Very easy to do, you know, not that hard. Again, it does take precise. You have to be very precise while trying to jump on any of these rails, not just that one. You know, you could just be jumping off of it from a platform, and you could still die. So you got to be very careful while doing it, and don't rely on the light speed dash too often to try to get up some of those inclines. Not really worth it. Especially, you know, you may just do a somersault, and you really have to go along from the very edge of the rings all the way up. It's just best if you can homing attack the rail and do it like that. All right, so we got 3 choices we can go down, or we got 3 holes we can go down. First, well, the first 2 have an item box, I believe. One's a life, one is a shield. I believe an electric shield, and the far right one is obviously the one where we can continue on with the level. But anyway, so this one does have a lot of rings, but you also have to, but that also gives you more rings to collect to get a higher score. And since there are so many ring boxes around, they expect you to go after well over 75% of them, meaning that to get an A rank, this is going to be a pretty hard one, just like Hidden Base, or Eternal Engine, and Crazy Gadget. But as long as you don't die, you should at least get a B to a C going through it the first time. Well, you'll get a B as long as you don't die going through it the first time. And there really isn't any areas where you need to grind on, or not grind, but light speed dash rings, so you don't have to worry about having an electric shield and then losing it at some point, because it's usually best if you just jump dash along these rails, but you do want to be careful, and you just can't go jump dashing against all of the, or homing attacking all of these rails, because if you do happen to miss one, then you know, you could potentially fall and die. So you want to be very careful while doing that. You see, well, I didn't land right in the rail, but it was pretty close. Alright, so we're getting to where we can get the Mystic Melody for Sonic, and it's not here just yet. It's up the road here. Let's see. I believe we take the orange rail, and that'll take us out as far as we need to go. And then just land on this platform. Don't get too scared, because it will launch you far enough that you should land on that second platform, so you don't have to worry about that. This will cut into your time, of course, so if you do go after this and you're also trying to go for the A rank, you know, that it ain't gonna happen. Mystic Melody. Change to Mystic Melody in the action window, then press the circle button to play Mysterious Melodies. Just go up to one of these. You can see we pull out a little flute, and crap. Let's see. I believe we can skip all this, so we don't have to worry about that. If you do have, I had forgotten, get those rings pop up, but usually it's just like a warp orb that will put you somewhere a little bit farther away from that location than where it is. not much farther, but a little ways anyway. So everything you see that I'm doing is not best to do if you are a beginner at this game, or at this level anyway. Everything I'm doing has taken countless hours and deaths to be able to. Now that set of paths, there's only one, and I believe all it has is a couple of wooden boxes that lead to nothing. So you really don't have to worry about finding hidden things in there. But everything you see that I'm doing is just countless hours of practicing, trying to go after the A ranks, trying to find any little bit of speed that I can cut from the path. Countless deaths and retries, hours and hours worth of it. So don't go flying around everywhere, flying off the rails and everything. The first minute you get in here, you get to the level, because it's not very wise. So how many? Come on, not enough to worry about. I'll go ahead and finish up the hero side story, because all I have to do is just fight a boss, and then that'll be it. And this will be where well, I guess I won't spoil it.
You never cease to surprise me, little hedgehog. I thought that capsule you were in exploded in space.
What can I say? I die hard. You actually saved me,
Yes, I cannot say what it is. There's no way you could have activated the chaos control using an emerald that's faded. So, there's more than just looking like me. What are you, anyway?
What you think? Just a guy that loves adventure. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog.
I see. But you know, I can't let you live. Your days are coming to an end.
Alright, so now we have to fight Shadow, and this is actually the first time that Sonic fights a final boss that isn't Robotnik. As a final boss, as I said. Alright, so there are many different ways you can actually do this boss fight. You can homing attack his back, but as you saw, you actually will follow him for a while before you just lose momentum and you lose speed. You can also try to line it up where he uses the the chaos control through a line of rings, and then use the light speed dash through that line of rings, and you do it like that. But the ground is always falling beneath you. No matter how fast you go, it'll just keep falling. So you want to be very careful. And repeatedly homing attacking is not a very good strategy, because he will move around and you will fly off to the side. Now you can do this, and sometimes it will hurt him, but most of the time he'll just go flying off the edge. Now, whenever you can hear whenever he's going to use the chaos control, because he'll say this is the ultimate before he does it. Oh crap! Yeah, I'm pointing the wrong way. There we go. Yeah, you never want to mess around like that. If he does get far enough ahead, he will use the chaos spear move. And all you have to do is just somersault through that to dodge it. And this is a great place actually to gain rings, as long as you don't get hit by Shadow. If you can keep from getting hit by him, you can gain a lot of lives doing this boss fight. Ooh, wow. Crappy camera angles. Yeah, you want to be careful while doing that. Let's go ahead and end this boss fight. Ow, yeah. Well, never want to get in to let him get behind you. There we go.
The ultimate life.
So, don't worry that there is nothing wrong with my recording. He does actually glow blue, glow greenish blue like that.
Sonic, I did it.
Awesome job, Tails.
Sonic!
Look outside.
So the Eclipse cannon is firing, except we got to the control, the emerald placement, control room, whatever you want to call it, and put the fake emerald into it, and the Eclipse cannon malfunctions, and Sonic saves the day as he always does. You know, see he's hanging there from a wire that, or an antenna that strangely looks like the wire that was used in Star Wars, the 5th Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, when Luke Skywalker fell and was clutching onto it once he realized Vader was his father. But enough about that. It really isn't that much to say, because you know this theme is a redone version of his Sonic Adventure 1. It's cut down a lot, and it doesn't have that one style of music that all of the songs in Sonic Adventure had. Every character has their own. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles has a redone version of it. Amy is shorter. Same woman who does Amy's does it. It's pretty much the same. It's just kind of edited a little bit more. But the new character themes are for Shadow, Robotnik, and Rouge. But I'll talk about them when I get to it. For the most part, you know, there is no difference between the dark and light side stories. The controls will be the same and everything, so I really can't comment too much on the controls. The camera angles could be a little bit better, but for the most part, you know, they're not that bad. You can't move up and down, sadly. I was kind of thinking you could, but obviously you can't. And it doesn't really hurt it too bad, you know, because it usually does a good job of showing you what you need, or the kind of gives you the right camera angles that you need, and it doesn't really mess you up too bad unless you're doing the shadow fight. Then it does hurt you in a few other levels. The emerald finding is definitely a lot more harder than in Sonic Adventure. A lot more areas where they could be, a lot more hiding places, and a lot bigger areas to cover than in Sonic Adventure. Tails' levels, you know, those are pretty much Gamma, but bigger and longer and more targets to get to and everything. Sonic's are pretty much like his in Sonic Adventure, except longer and different elements to the game, such as grinding and going after tricks and everything like that. But I thank you for watching. The challenge of the video is how many times did I homing attack Shadow in his during the boss fight? I thank you for watching. Now, at the end of once you beat the boss fight, you will then you get that cutscene, and you also, it should say that we unlocked kart racing tracks, but it may not. But again, I thank you for watching. The challenge video is how many times did I homing attack Shadow during the boss fight. Next time we'll be doing the dark side story. Until then,